98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com presents the Mid-Columbia Today Show with Mark Bailey. Special thanks to our sponsors, Skyline Hospital and Del Carpine Automotive. Now, here's Mark Bailey.
And good Wednesday morning to you. This is Marti Dane filling in for Mark Bailey. And we have some fun special guests for you today in studio. We're going to have in the first half of our program, Hood River Adopt-A-Dog Executive Director Lorraine Lyons, as well as Sharla Weber Mosqueda. And we will be with them in a few minutes. In the meantime, as we always do, we like to remind you, or more like little brief lessons, things that you can dig into on your own if you spark curiosity and maybe tie some things together. So today in history, August 19th, we're going all the way back to 1692. That was the day that four men and one woman were hanged after being convicted of witchcraft at Salem in the province of Massachusetts Bay. The story of one of those men, John Proctor, inspired Arthur Miller's play, The Crucible. I'm going to skip the 18th century for some reason. We're going all the way to 1812. The U.S. Constitution defeated the British frigate HMS Gruyere off Nova Scotia during the War of 1812, earning the nickname Old Ironsides. I know I've heard that from some kind of other show that was out there. And so if you're the one that knows the answer to that trivia question, what did Ironsides end up being in? Maybe you can call Cameron and tell him. Because I know he's waiting. He just looked at the phone. Let us know. In 1814, during the War of 1812, British forces landed at Benedict, Maryland with the objective of capturing Washington, D.C. I don't think that worked out too well. In 1854, 31 U.S. soldiers were killed after one of the soldiers fatally shot Brule, Lakota Chief Conquering Bear, sparking the First Sioux War. In 1809, Indianapolis Motor Speedway hosted its first automobile race. I think that might have been a little slower paced than what we're looking at these days. But I'm sure at the time it was kind of exciting. And as we know, motorsports have continued to be so popular. In 1955, torrential rains caused by Hurricane Diane resulted in severe flooding in northeastern U.S., claiming some 200 lives. In 1960, a tribunal in Moscow convicted American U-2 pilot Francis Gary Powers of espionage. Although he was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment, Powers was returned to the United States in 1962, only 2 years later, as part of a prisoner exchange. In the current century, on August 19th, 2010, the last American combat brigade exited Iraq. That was 7 years and 5 months after a U.S.-led invasion marked the beginning of the Iraq War. There's something about how looking back in history, but doing it chronologically, that to me, these facts they're kind of scattershot. There's a little bit of war, a little bit of sports, a little bit of human interest, and at the same time, there's so much going on in our world on any given day. So whatever it is that you are interested in, I hope that you explore that a little bit. And on the fun side, we've got, it is officially International Bow Day. For all those archers out there and people thinking about a new hobby to try out, there's also International Orangutan Day. International Talk Like Jar Jar Binks Day. I think I'm going to get a pass on that one. I remember the character, but I do not remember what his shtick was. So National Aviation Day, Sandcastle and Sculpture Day, and World Humanitarian Day. I think in that 6 categories, we could cover almost anything. So enjoy your day and whatever it brings. If you're looking for ideas for food, it's Hot and Spicy Food Day, National Potato Day, and National Soft Ice Cream Day. And as always, we encourage you not to mix the foods just because they're all in the same day. Maybe not that great together, but who knows? I digress. We have special guests for you later, so you do not have to listen to me drone on about all kinds of bizarre facts. And I have one correction from yesterday's show. I was looking through, one of the things that was up on the list was the 19th Constitutional Amendment giving women the right to vote in the United States. And I had overlooked that one of the earliest adopters of women's right to vote, as well as all people, was the state of New Jersey. In 1776, wrote it into their state constitution. However, 3 decades later, it was rescinded in 1807. So, the United States in New Jersey was on that list. Still not ahead of Finland, but they were there. So, we will be right back in studio with our guests after this.
Want a great floor without the hassle? Affordable Floors and Abbey Carpets has been flooring the Gorge since 1992. At Affordable Floors, we offer a 60-day customer satisfaction guarantee on all Abbey products, free in-home estimates, expert design help, and professional installation to get the job done right. Visit us online or stop by Affordable Floors and Abbey Carpets today and let Larry, Morgan, or Shelby walk you through the newest designs from carpet, hardwood, laminate, and ceramic tile. Visit us at our showroom at 1512 Osprey Drive in Hood River.
Hi, this is Nicole with McCoy Holliston Insurance, powered by Your Policy. We're honored to be recognized the best insurance agency in the Gorge 5 years running. This reflects the trust, loyalty, and long-term relationships we've built with our clients for nearly 80 years. At McCoy Holliston, we take pride in offering dependable guidance and personal service. Whether you need protection for your home, car, business, farm, or life, your trust means everything to us. Call us at McCoy Holliston Insurance, where relationships and service still come first.
Mid-Columbia Today is a public affairs program of Bicoastal Media Columbia River, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com. Now, back to Mark Bailey.
And this is Marti Dane. Wednesday morning, we have our first guest in the studio from Hood River Adopt-A-Dog. It's Lorraine Lyons. Good morning, Lorraine.
Good morning, Marty. Nice to make your acquaintance.
Absolutely. I have a special place in my heart for the program, and my dog had a brief stay with you all about 13 years ago, and she actually was a surrendered dog. So she came with a literal suitcase. She had a bed, she had toys, she had some leftover like heart medication. She had all kinds of things. The people that had her had challenges. They were on a farm. She was chasing animals, and they said she could use a different kind of home. And she just turned 14 this year.
That's awesome.
I'm just, I don't know. I keep kind of poking her every once in a while, like, are you really just this? We took her in for a vet check, and the vet said, I don't know, maybe give her a couple more years. Oh, go figure.
Awesome.
And it's been some really amazing times. So my dog has a success story from Hood River Adopt-A-Dog, but there's not always happy tales and trails to follow. So what's going on there lately?
Well, there's always happy tales and there's always challenges, right? Every day is something in the shelter business. What is going on? Well, our focus, remains doing our best to support the dogs and dog owners of Hood River County. We have spent the last 18 months really restructuring. Hood River Adopt-A-Dog has had a pattern of really relying heavily on our citizens of the county to help fund us and save us. We've been in save our shelter mode for years and years and years. Mm-hmm. And it becomes less sustainable as the years go on,
Yeah. So it is Hood River Adopt-A-Dog now, and I realize I misspoke. I think it was Hukari Shelter at the time.
It's the Hukari Shelter.
Is it still? Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
you rely on people individually in a way. It's kind of a project, a passion project with animals.
100%.
Yeah. And
100%.
Yet, and is it only dogs?
Only dogs.
Only dogs. So you maintain the focus there. I mean, it is National Orangutan Day, but
Hey,
you got to
I
draw
like
a
them
line
too.
somewhere.
I don't know what you do with an orangutan.
But I'm trying to lighten it up a little bit because I hear you. It is a struggle. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of things that are out there pulling on people's heartstrings, and at the same time, it takes some level of sustainability to make sure that you can responsibly take on care for all these animals.
Exactly.
So, what's the status of animals at this point? Are you full?
We are quiet. We're really quiet at the moment. That can change on a moment's notice too.
Yeah.
What has happened gradually over the last 18 months or so is that we have begun to build a structure and a strong foundation that can help us build from here. So, we're kind of at the turning point with, I think, where we're at. So, we are still functioning on donations, our money from the Hukari Fund, which will be exhausted this spring, and reserve. But we're using less and less reserve every month. So, look at our national, situation, right? It's no different. We are no different than any government, any, consumer. We just are doing our best to be fiscally responsible. So we're at a place where we'll be in a better place, I think, as time goes on. So it's been painful to get to the point of that foundation building, but I think we're months away from righting the ship, if you will. So it's been tough, but we're getting there.
I can hear it in your voice. I know that when we try to look out, I have decades of experience in nonprofit management as well, and there were definitely years where there was a little bit of time where I ran the program out of my house and just trying what other bills can we set aside for a while so that we can restructure and make sure that honestly make sure that the money that's coming in is really fulfilling the mission. Right, because that's one of the hardest things to do when you're asking for money. Is you need a roof, you need power, you need everything to make it happen. But then the real heart work comes when the dogs come in, and then the dogs get adopted, and everything that makes that happen is that foundation. Mm-hmm. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah. It sounds like you've probably been committed to this program for a while. How long have you been involved?
Joined the board about, I guess it's been 18 months ago. And then, we have a new board that's been together for about 18 months, and it's super cohesive and willing to make hard decisions and kind of hurt through the pain and make things happen. And Sharla is our vice president, so she can speak to how hard this board works. Being on a board of directors is all volunteer.
Yeah.
It's all volunteer.
And yet it's also creativity and camaraderie, and sometimes you're just trying to figure out how do you make the world better in this one or two ways. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you for giving us a little introduction. We'll be back with you. All right. And meanwhile, I want to say good morning to Sharla.
Hi.
Sharla Weber Mosqueda.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. And I'm like, you're not Mark Bailey.
You're
a female version of Mark Bailey. So it's nice to meet you. Thanks for having us here.
Absolutely. Yeah. We were just talking about kind of like what drew you to Hood River Adopted Dog, and what brings you to the table?
I am passionate about animals and very passionate about the mission, and this board is amazing. I have to echo that with Lorraine. We are very hands-on. The board has been going up and filling some shifts to cut back on labor costs, and I love the board because we are cohesive. We are all very dedicated. There's no egos or other agendas involved, and that isn't always the case when you have a group of people, no matter if that's a nonprofit or not a nonprofit. So that's really awesome to be involved in this, and it is rewarding, and we are doing everything we can to fulfill our mission and to take care of those fuzzy faces up there in Odell.
Oh my gosh. I love dogs, really do. And I know that there are probably people out there who haven't really done much. Maybe they are in a different world, or they've got a lot of other projects. In a few minutes, I want to talk about how can you involve more people and help with your mission. But there's a note here about what's been happening recently, and everything trickles down in our community. We've been working on the grasshopper fire for a while.
Right.
And I know that had an impact on you guys. What happened?
Well, we had a very exciting event scheduled called Tales on Trails up at Mount Hood, and that was going to be a substantial fundraiser for us. And, of course, that was canceled. I get emotional because it certainly isn't just about us. I mean, you think about the acres and acres, the displacement of all the wildlife, the people that have lost structures, the firefight, there's so much going on.
Right.
So, these wildfires, there's a much bigger picture, but we were definitely impacted.
And I just have to say thank you to all the firefighters, and this is going to make me emotional, sorry, who are leaving their homes and their families and coming here to help us and being so selfless and so wonderful. And so I'm just so grateful.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. One of the things that happened, I think, was that Meadows made the business decision, as well as a lot of other factors, to close for the season. Yeah. So it's not like you can just reschedule for the next week or something along those lines. So did that put you guys into emergency planning mode?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. What is on the agenda? What's going to happen? Are you going to redo the event in a different location? Substitute a separate one? Or?
We have a few board members that focus on events, so they're restructuring and kind of working on some ideas, and we'll have more information coming up. But it's kind of a matter of what are we going to do, where are we going to do it, how are we going to promote it, right? So we're a little bit in crisis mode to get something back on the books, but we'll get there. We do have an event, no date set yet, for October in the Dalles at the Subaru dealership. Subaru Loves Pets has given us a $4,000 grant this year, and with that comes an event. So we're just starting the planning process to see what that event will be in October. So more to come on that.
Yeah, and we would just ask everyone to please follow our Facebook page so you can see what events we have coming up and when they are, and to support us would be amazing.
Okay. And I wanted to follow up on the wildfire and animal displacement pieces and such. Is the shelter open for if people need a place for animals to go? Is that something you guys have contemplated, or if you have space?
That is animals in broad form, no.
Pets.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we're a dog shelter. We wouldn't know what to do with anything other than a canine, frankly. I mean, I'm sure we'd figure it out if we needed to. We would. There hasn't been a huge need, I think, because it's kind of south and east of us. But we're certainly available. And we have to discuss plans with the county because, we lease their building and we have a contract with them with county shelter services. So it's not like, we can do this or we can do that. We have to have a conversation.
Yeah, it's not just up to us. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. But, brainstorming on live radio comes with its challenges.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I think about what does thinking out of the box mean with an adopt a shelter, because it's not a business that you get into in order to make money.
There's nothing profitable about the shelter business. I mean, one spay or one neuter makes you not profitable. And most dogs need a spay or a neuter. So, there's nothing profitable about our business model.
And at the same time, people are drawn to it because it does give.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is there a way that if people out there are moved by, wanting to help, of course there's dollars and donations of actual funding, but are there other ways that you can channel energy that's coming towards you? What would you tell people?
One of the things that we have focused very heavily on and are working toward is moving back toward where we started, which was a lot of volunteering. Labor is our largest expense. Labor, because remember, we're open 24/7, 365, right? Mm-hmm. 2 people are preferable per shift, twice a day, so morning and evening. So we're looking to hopefully get back into having more people volunteer for all duties up at the shelter instead of just walking dogs. So anyone who is interested can email volunteers, plural, at hoodriveradopt-a-dog.org, and we will be happy to make contact with you.
And there's all sorts of things that volunteers can do. They can help feed dogs. They can walk dogs, as you said. There's always cleaning that needs to be done. There's laundry. There's all sorts of. There's never nothing to
thank
do.
you
Let's put it
cards.
that way. Yeah.
All kinds
thank
of
you.
stuff.
All sorts of things. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's kind of funny because I'm thinking, oh, cool. I'm only here on this show for 2 weeks out of the summer while Mark goes and plays golf. I love poking fun at him because he's just rock solid, and yet at the same time everybody needs a break. Mm-hmm. But I hear about all these programs and I think, oh, I'm gonna get involved. However, there is a realistic point, which I was just talking about my dog who is 14 now.
Wow.
And there's a daily routine, of walking her and feeding her and just honestly that feel of fur on my hands. Mm-hmm. That when you no longer have a dog in your life, you kind of want to, but at the same time, people are a little odd if you walk up to their dog and you're too friendly with their dog, right? So getting involved with the dogs that don't have as many people in their lives is just the perfect connection.
We have a lot of that.
Yeah.
And we love feeling the fur on our hands, and they love feeling our hands on their fur. So keep that in mind. And the more human interaction they can have, the better.
Yeah, and then they actually have a better opportunity for being adopted.
Yeah, because
they're
then
happier with people.
Yeah, and then we get to know the dogs better, so we have more information based on what people tell us about their interactions with the dogs, so that if someone is interested in adopting someone, that they make a much more educated decision than just well, we have this dog and it's cute, but we know nothing about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that we need to know today? As we are almost out of time.
Just to keep us top of mind in any way you imaginable. We have our Cans for Canines program, which is amazing. So we collect the last Sunday of every month from 9 to noon at the Hood River Adult Center, right across from the athletic club there. So if you'd like to collect your recyclable, depositable cans, and plastic bottles, we're happy to accept them. That's been huge for us. And we're always looking for volunteers to drive our trailer into Clackamas for us as well. So
we bring in the cans, we pack the trailer, we bring them to Portland, and what do we get per load generally? It's
usually $500 or $600 depending on how tight we pack it. So it's a big deal. It's been huge for us.
Right on. Well, everybody else out there, think about it. Find some time in your life. Put a little fur back into it. And I just want to say thank you to both of you. It's clear you're really passionate about the project, and that I think they're lucky to have you.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
Marty.
Thanks for having us.
Lorraine Lyons and Sharla Weber Mosqueda.
Mosqueda. You're close.
Oh, I'm
yes.
so
Oh,
close.
No.
Have a good luck.
Thank you.
And we'll be back after this.
If your car is dinged, dented, or damaged in any way, call Jack's. Jack's Body Shop and Rhino Linings of the Gorge. Jack's Body Shop and Rhino Linings of the Gorge is a family-owned auto body, collision repair, and paint shop. Jack's is an authorized dealer of Rhino Lining spray-on protective bed liners, too. We've been in business since 1969. So call Jack's. 296-9170. 296-9170. 621 East 2nd Street, downtown The Dalles. Jack's Body Shop and Rhino Linings of the Gorge.
Got a drip that just won't quit? Or a shower that turns cold right when you need it hot? When plumbing goes sideways in the Columbia Gorge, Chinook Plumbing is the family-owned team that's been setting it right since 1989. At Chinook Plumbing, we treat every plumbing problem like it's happening in our own home. From clogged drains to water heaters, gas lines, remodels, sewer and water line replacements, and those unexpected emergencies. We've got you covered. Give us a call or visit us at ChinookPlumbingHoodRiver.com. CCB number 240452.
Coffee for Mid-Columbia Today guests is provided by Hood River Coffee Roasters, the Gorge's local coffee roasters, on Tucker Road on the Heights in Hood River.
Hello, this is Cameron Eisenberg filling in for Mark Bailey with the news. The latest update on the Grasshopper fire, released last night, brought encouraging news, as stronger winds were less intense than expected, and crews continued making significant progress. Firefighters maintained secure control lines, and containment increased to 57%, with much of the additional progress coming from the northeast corner, where crews strengthened lines and completed extensive mop-up. A new industry report says an Oregon law passed last year is part of a nationwide wave of state regulations, making it harder for private equity firms to take over healthcare services. According to PitchBook, private equity deals involving healthcare services fell 18.5% from the second quarter of 2025 to the second quarter of 2026, while deals allowing firms to take control of clinical practice management fell nearly 36%. Washington has spent $207 million fighting 20 wildfires in just 1 month, according to the State Department of Natural Resources, with the cost shared among local, state, and federal agencies. The spending represents more than 2/3 of what the department spent fighting wildfires during the entire previous fiscal year, when costs reached a record estimated $304.8 million. And Hood River is getting another national accolade, this time being named the best small mountain town in America by Travel and Leisure magazine. The Oregon town was one of 10 destinations featured on the magazine's America's Best Small Towns list, which highlights communities with populations under 30,000 and with notable attractions. Looking at the weather, it is 65 degrees in Hood River, 65 degrees in the Dalles, 62 degrees in Stevenson. Mid-Columbia Today will be back shortly.
Hey, it's Zach from Del Carpine Automotive, where we specialize in keeping European rides happy. Audi, BMW, Mercedes, and even those tall Sprinter vans that look like hotels on wheels. We know them inside and out. And if you're wondering where we went, we didn't go far. We're just now 5 minutes from our old shop in our brand new location in the Upper Hood River. Same trusted crew, more space, and the same honest, family-owned service. Come see us at Del Carpine Automotive. European expertise and Columbia Gorge roots.
Mid-Columbia Today is a public affairs program of Bi-Coastal Media Columbia River, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com. Now, back to Mark Bailey.
And we're back. This is Marti Dane in substitution for Mark Bailey for the week. We have our second guest for the day, White Salmon Valley School District Superintendent Rich Polkinghorn. Good morning, Rich.
Good morning, Marty. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. We were just talking with the other side of the river, Superintendent, yesterday, and so I am curious, how are things going over on your side of the river?
Well, good. We're doing okay. You know, we're gearing up for the school year, so busy this time of year. I'm sure, like Superintendent Newton probably shared, busy with getting our teachers back in the buildings, getting our staff ready for our students to show up in about a week. And so it's been, after a really lovely summer of sort of, some downtime and a little bit of decompression, we're back like full tilt now, which is, it's good. We're excited to be back, and we're just sitting in, we adopted a new math curriculum this year, so it's just sitting with my elementary teachers, doing some in-service training on how to use that new curriculum with our students. So things are good. So that's going on. And then, we're all on the operations side, course, the summertime is the busy time of year for our maintenance and custodial staff and transportation department maintenance team. They're getting those buses all tuned up. We've got the buildings getting cleaned and floors waxed and all that sort of work going on, and all of our fields are getting, attended to. So while our students and teaching staff are off for the summer, our maintenance staff is very busy over the summer.
I can only imagine. I mean, I've never worked in a school, but at the same time, the amount of floor space and the number of people that are on it every single day, and even just dust that accumulates over the course of the summer. There's just a lot of work in getting everything ready.
It's a lot of cleaning. Yeah, I think you think of just the hallway floors, but then. And then we also strip and refinish our gym floors as well. So everything gets a fresh coat over the summer, so it all looks shiny and new when our students and community show up for the first day of school. And then it takes a beating over the course of the year.
How many tennis shoe squeaks does it take to get the gymnasium floor?
Exactly. That's right. Yeah, that's what we're here for those tennis. We love to hear those tennis shoe squeaks for sure. That means our kids are here, and that's a good thing.
Right on. So on a little bit more serious note, I mean, school does start soon. What's your official rollout timeline?
Yes. Yeah, we start a week from today. So on the 26th August, and then we have. In White Salmon, typically we start the week before Labor Day, so we typically have 3 days of school: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then the next week is Labor Day, so it's a four-day week, and then a 5-day week this year, and I think next year too. We have this funky 3-day, 5-day, 4-day start, but we start Wednesday, and the first few days are busy getting to know our students and getting oriented to classroom routines and lunch routines and recess routines, but then we're go next week. Buses will be rolling, so it'll be nice to see those back on the roads.
No kidding. Are there any last minute reminders that you want to set out there for anybody as far as bus routes or changes or those first time kindergarten parents? Anything?
Yeah, mostly I would say if you're not registered for school yet, the time is getting close to come by your local school office and register your students. If you were already enrolled in school last year, there's no need to re-register. But if you're new to the community, or if you were a family that was in a different school last year or homeschooling and you're planning to attend a public school, or if you have a new kindergartner, we'd love to have you come and register sometime before next Wednesday. That'd be about it. All the other information will be sent out from the schools about bus routes and schedules, and also on our website.
Okay.
It's relatively easy to find, but just trying to make sure people know to get registered.
Right on. We just had Marla Keithler on yesterday too, the mayor for White Salmon, and she was talking. One of the projects was a new playground that had been surveyed some of the elementary school kids as to what do they want on their playground, and I love that idea of just involving the students in what is the vision of the future, and then they actually get to see that happen. I am building a little bit here to talk about a big change happening that, not this school year, but at some point in the future. You guys just passed a bond for construction of a K-12. Can you tell me what this is about?
Yeah, you're close. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good segue. We are in the process. So last February, we went out to the voters and asked them to approve a $78 million bond package, would allow us to basically consolidate our schools from 3 schools to 2. Looking at our enrollment projections over the coming years, and then taking into consideration the condition of our current elementary school, our facilities advisory committee recommended that we consolidate down, really focus our energy and resources into modernizing our 2 schools up on the high school campus, and move out of Whitson Elementary School. And so in February, that ballot measure passed with about 66% of the vote. And so we felt very excited. We're, of course, very excited, very proud of our community. Also, community has a lot of trust in us, and we also want to deliver on that trust. And so this last few months, we've been elbow deep in design work. So that we've hired an architecture firm, Design West, like Tri-Cities area. We're in the midst of getting the plans drawn. I'm actually meeting with the architects and our project managers today to look at version 1.0 of the floor plan drawings for the two schools.
Wow.
So pretty exciting. Yeah, and then our phasing plan, really the sort of schedule is this year will be really the design year for the new elementary school, which will be a remodeled, currently what is the intermediate and middle school, and also our athletic fields and playground areas will also get, that work will all begin next spring, like spring of 2027. So we're getting close. Going to be here before we know it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes when these big changes happen, it feels like it's just like a monumental shift. But for those people that have been around at least 20 years, I know that it was about 17 years ago, maybe even, that Whitson Elementary shifted a bit and some of those kids came to the intermediate school. And now this is what's going to happen to Whitson?
Yeah, we don't know. That's probably the number one most frequently asked question.
Oh.
Is like, what are you guys going to do with Whitson? Because it is such a iconic building right in the middle of town, right on the main road. Generations of students and families have gone through this school.
Yeah.
And so I think we very much recognize that there's a lot of history and tradition with the school, and we don't want to make a snap judge or decision about what to do. So we're effectively just deferring that for a while. Like, we don't know, and we're going to need to use it for a few years. So as we're phasing these projects through, there's a couple years there where we will use this Whitson Elementary School as a sort of holding spot for a couple of grade levels while we continue construction projects. So we'll decide at some point. The board will engage in some sort of community input forum to get ideas from the community, gather input, and ultimately make a decision on what to do. And sometimes the decision is like, we're not going to do anything for a while. We're just going to let it sit for a minute and hold on to this asset and use it for other purposes. All the way to we could sell it to into the top for the top dollar, and so we don't know. At this point, no decisions have been made. We're sort of like not thinking about what we're going to do with Whitson so much as focused on getting these three projects: the new elementary school, the remodeled high school, and then the fields and play areas. All getting those three projects done.
To be fair,
that's our focus right now.
That sounds like a full plate.
It's a lot, yeah. It's taking up a lot of my time, but it's, as I tell people, like, what a wonderful thing to be working on. When I started in White Salmon a few years ago, that was the most feedback from this community in our strategic planning process was we have to address the condition of our facilities. They're in bad shape. So, we took that as marching orders, and so we're going for it.
Right on.
It's exciting.
It is. Yeah. It's also fun to be involved in something that can have an impact on so many people's lives. Not only, parents that want their kids to be in healthy spaces, but also, how kids go to school and having your entire education, if you're lucky enough to live in one spot, be at the same location is really, really rare in today's world. And
that's one of the things that's pretty special about White Salmon, I think, is we have a pretty stable sort of population here. And so a lot of our families, bring here with their young children and raise them and go through all the schools. So like my own, my children have all been through preschool, through high school in White Salmon, and it's been a really special experience for them.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I know the facilities, when I worked in Hood River, I was high school principal for a number of years there. We were fortunate voter support for 2 bonds during my tenure in Hood River, and I've seen firsthand how the learning spaces can transform the student's experience. At the high school, specifically in Hood River, those new science classrooms were like a game changer in terms of what our science department was able to do with our students. And so I'm really excited about those white salmon as well.
You can tell it's coming through in your voice. That's very fun. So
it's exciting. Yeah, it's very exciting.
I've got the awkward question for you of, this, you're just starting this. You've just hired an architectural firm, and that's the fun energy at the beginning. Do you have a projected end time?
Yeah, I think right now let me do a little math here. So this year is going to be all about design. And then next school year, so 27, 28 will be construction. And then the next 2 years after that will be construction as well. So 28, 29, 29, 30. So we'll fully open, everything done in the 2030 school year.
Okay.
4 years away.
I'm writing it down. And
there you go. Put it down. We'll see.
Absolutely. Well, that sounds like a definite exciting piece. And then the last thing I have for you is, you've been in education for a long time, but this role of superintendent it's different than direct engagement with the students every single day. A teacher's in the classroom, you're getting a lot back from the students. What keeps you motivated? What do you like about your job?
Oh, I just love this. You're right. I mean, the superintendent job, it sort of takes you away from the students, or one layer away from the kids. Mm-hmm. But where I center myself always is around our students and what's best for our students and how can we make our students' experience better. I love the people that I work with. I was fortunate in Hood River to work with some really great educators, and that made that work very fulfilling when we were working with people who shared a common in for enriching young people's lives through education. And coming to White Salmon, I've found that group of people here as well. And so I've got great people to work with. I've got a great admin team. There's some amazing teachers here, and we all have a shared focus on really, really making a great experience for our students. And that's really what centers me in my work. There's always distractions and things we got to deal with, but day in, day out, year over year, it always comes back for me to those kiddos and trying to make their experience in school just the best. Fun, but also learning and really having great experiences where they can, when they look back on their childhood years, they have positive memories about school.
Right on. It's always a pleasure talking with you, Rich. I've got to wrap things up here. And so I just want to say thank you for your vision and your tenacity. There's a lot that needs to happen, and looks like some nice horizons for White Salmon.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Marty. It's always good to chat with you.
Right on. It is 8:50 with Mid-Columbia today, and we'll be right back after this.
It's easy to take simple conveniences for granted. Ever feel overwhelmed while running kids to sports practice, the store, and doctor's appointments? What if you didn't have transportation? Many of our Gorge neighbors face this challenge every day, and now you can help with Bicoastal Media's Wheels of Hope, presented by C.H. Ernest Motors. This fall, we'll hand over the keys to a 2015 Nissan Sentra. If you know of a local family that has fallen on hard times and needs a vehicle, you can help by nominating them. Nominate a vehicle-challenged family today at gorgeradio.com. Make a difference in the lives of others in our community. Wheels of Hope also supported by A&E Plumbing, Heating and Air, Walmart of the Gorge, Pioneer Appliance, Columbia Cascade Housing Corporation, Skyline Health, Sinclair, WAGAP, Bimart, and Pee-wee's Auto Detail. Visit gorgeradio.com to see how you can make a difference with Wheels of Hope.
Coffee for Mid-Columbia Today guests is provided by Hood River Coffee Roasters, the Gorge's local coffee roasters, on Tucker Road on the Heights in Hood River.
And we are looking at things happening around our area in the coming weeks. And one of the things I want to remind people about is that we actually have some bridge closures coming up. And that is tonight and tomorrow night, so the 19th and the 20th. Closures starting sometime around 11:30 or 12 and going until 5 a.m. for the White Salmon Hood River Bridge. And then again next week, but next week it's Thursday and Friday, the 27th and 28th. And those are for doing some geological studies and preparation for the bridge project. So make sure that however you plan your day or your night, that you can get to where you want to go. Meanwhile, if you are looking for things to do that are out and about, you might want to check out, for example, New York Times and CBA best-selling and award-winning author of more than 40 books, Jane Kirkpatrick, is discussing her latest novel on Saturday at 3 p.m. at the Dalles Public Library. Also, in the Dalles, at the library, there's a virtual author talk with Baronda Montgomery on When Trees Testify, Reclaiming America's Black Botanical Legacy. That's actually on August 25th. So put it on your calendar and check it out. You can sign up ahead of time at the wascocountylibrary.com. And the last thing at the Dalles Library is Lacing Communities Together with Maggie Hensel Brown. That is actually a lace making workshop. So if you've ever been intrigued on how that works, what's involved, really different kind of art. That's on August 26th at 5:30 p.m. And it's for teens and adults. All supplies are provided. And just one of the ways to get out and enjoy the Dalles. And earlier in the week, I told you, so I'm going to follow through on this, Hood River, Port of Hood River Executive Director Kevin Greenwood was here in regards to the Hannell Mill property, what was happening with that. The Hood River County Commission had their meeting. They overturned the appeal to allow Amazon to do what they had initially intended to do with the property. And then when we spoke with Kevin that day, there was still some question about that. There were several proposals, I should say, forgive me, on the sale of the property, and the port met last night and in executive session, reviewed those proposals, had their public session, and made the decision to accept the Dominguez Family Enterprises proposal. So they are moving forward. They're now under contract to purchase the land, and we shall see what the next step is and how that goes. Hopefully a final deal will be in the future when that sale is completed and everything moves forward. And I think that's the latest that I have on that. Cameron will tell you if something new comes through because he's got the news. I've got a commercial break and I'll be right back.
Did you know Skyline Health in White Salmon has its very own sports medicine doc superstar? That's right. Dr. Ryan Petering trained at OHSU, cared for professional Nike athletes, and even spent more than 15 years teaching other doctors how it's done. From sporting injuries to arthritis, he's here to help you move better, feel stronger, and keep doing the things you love. Want to live life to its fullest? Step right up and visit myskylinehealth.org. Skyline Health, world-class care right here at home.
Tune in weekday mornings at 8:05 and keep up with community events and issues with the Mid-Columbia Today Show on Mid-Columbia's news leaders, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR. Special thanks to our sponsors, Skyline Hospital and Del Carpine Automotive.
And we're back with just enough time to say thanks for being here. Tomorrow on the show, we have Tennille Harrigas from Wonderworks Children's Museum and talking about their Touch a Truck event coming up this Saturday. And Hannah Nanda from Gorge Grown. She's going to be sharing information on the Harvest Dinner fundraiser and the Hood River Farmers Market, as well as any other programs. It is always a pleasure to bring information to you, meet with people and talk. We will be back with you tomorrow. Marti Dane and Cameron Eisenberg signing off for Wednesday. See you tomorrow.
The Mid-Columbia Columbia Today Show is a public affairs presentation of Bicoastal Media Columbia River. The views expressed on the program are not necessarily those of the station, parent company, or of the sponsors. We welcome your suggestions for future shows. Call us at 541-386-1511. Listen to Mid-Columbia Today where you want. Follow or subscribe to Mid-Columbia Today wherever you download your podcast to get the show delivered every day to your mobile device.